Hey, it's working. Can you see me
Hey,
okay?
I can. How are you?
I am so awesome. So awesome. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yes. Look. Okay. First of all, I just need to talk about this yellow chair. Like,
Yes.
wow,
Thank you. Yes, I
that is
got the great
amazing.
pillows. Yeah, I can see that you like some color. I love the glasses.
Thank
I
you.
I knew you were gonna be wearing some big glasses, so I said, let me put some big glasses on too. I said, let me embody Shamand right now, right?
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yes. How are you?
I am great. I am great. I am great. It's been a good day. I took a little
That's
nap, so it's better.
naps are always good. Look,
They are.
I had
They
one
are.
before. I
I like it.
had before the call. Like naps are good. When you were young, it was a struggle. Like you didn't want to nap. You felt like something you were gonna miss out on something. But
Mm-hmm.
now you like nap. Give me an hour. Give me
Please,
25 minutes at least.
please, please. So I'm so excited to have you here. One, because this is a little bit different for us. We
Okay.
normally work with all kinds of different types of businesses. But what makes it different, I feel, is like generally when we talk about health, we're always talking about physical health.
Right.
And I think, especially, this past year, 2020 being what it was,
Yes.
like we're really, really, really realizing the importance of like mental health.
Absolutely.
And so that is where you come in with all your expertise and fabulousness.
Oh my goodness. You sweet. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So before we really get into the program that
Yes.
we wanted to talk about, why don't you
Absolutely.
tell everybody who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. Well, let me give it back to you, Shaman, for just having this platform for women like myself and to come on your show and to share what it is that we're doing, and who we are. And so much love and peace to you because,
Thank you.
something like this is always needed and it's always necessary. And so
Mm-hmm.
I really send it back to you. Send back the vibes and the
Thank
peace and the
you.
love, all that to you. So I'm greatly humbled by this opportunity. So who am I? I am Natasha Paris St. Amand. I am the etiquette therapist. That is my brand. That is my brand. And I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised in Brooklyn from Haitian parents. Both my parents are from Haiti. And so they came to this country and they were like, we need you to get a better education, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so hence I did. However, as we rebellious kids do,
Well.
well. So let me say this. I wouldn't call it rebellious. I just have a very, very creative spirit. And so for a very long time, how I became the etiquette therapist was because of the fact that I was living two lives in tandem for a very long time, for almost over 20 years, right? In both industries. I was in the fashion industry for a long time. I modeled for a little bit, short lived, very short lived. Why? Because I love the background. I love being behind the scenes. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was a stylist. I was a makeup artist for a very long time. I worked with Queen Latifah and her Queen collection. I worked with Yves Saint Laurent, YSL. I was one of the key makeup artists for Yves Saint Laurent. I worked with MTV. I actually worked and supported pageant girls and did a lot of experience and training and just in the field of teaching people how to walk, how to talk, how to stand up straight, how to, exude levels of confidence. So I did that for a very long time. I also was a dancer for a long time as well, for almost about 14, 15 years. So I was surrounded by a bunch of artsy, creative,
Yes.
emotional, sensitive, loving, I love the world, peace, that kind of thing. So I was doing that for a very long time. And my parents just could not understand what is it that you're doing. And then also I was a scout. I have such an interesting background. I was actually a model scout. And so I would go on the streets of New York and I would scout out regular folks to become a model. So
Wow.
Yes. So that was really fun. I did that. And then I would take them in and I would style them. And then I would do their makeup. So they would have all these, like they would pay me what price for all of the things.
Look, it's like a one-stop shop and I like it.
Yeah, and I was young. I didn't know that they were taking advantage, but that's okay. But it taught me a whole lot about the industry, and I loved it. It was something that I never would honestly say that I would regret. Like it was a phenomenal experience. But at the same time, my parents were like, "I don't understand. What are you doing in the streets of New York? Fashion. You're coming home late. What is it that you're doing? And you need to make sure that you go to school." And so to appease my parents, I went to school and I even went as far as get my grad degree. And I fell in love with psychology. And psychology was for me, just interesting. But for a long time, I was living these two worlds in tandem. Mm-hmm. So in the fashion industry, I was known as Paris. It was like, hey, Paris. And then, and then in the, psychology world, I was St. Amand, Natasha St. Amand. So when people would talk, they would think they were two different people. two different people. And I remember the supervisor at the time, I was sharing with her what I was doing, and I would always find a way to incorporate it into what I was doing with my clients, even the young kids. I lived in several different cities, and when I was living in Philadelphia and also New Orleans, I would work with middle schoolers and high schoolers. And I would, I tell you no lie, I put a fashion show together. I was like, this is going to help with self-esteem. And let me tell you, it was so phenomenal, so phenomenal. And literally, I had kids who had never felt beautiful enough. They were on stage and they had their peers clapping them on, rooting them on. It was so amazing. And then I remember my political supervisor said to me, she said, Natasha, you're going to one day have these two worlds come together. And I couldn't fathom, I couldn't visually see how these two worlds would come together. And it did. 2007, it came together, and it was such a beautiful marriage, and still is, because from an etiquette perspective, I'm working with people on the outside and how they look, how they present themselves to the world, but then also at the same time, I'm working with them emotionally. So that's what I'm doing. That's who I am, and then I support them emotionally, appearance, and then I'll help them make some money. Right? You can be beautiful and everything else, but if you broke, ain't nobody listening to you 2 months. So that's me. Yes.
That's amazing, though. That's absolutely. I love when you can take these two different worlds and put them together. That's, in a sense, what I like to feel that I do. I'm a researcher and a scientist, biologist. And so, pulling in that science and that fashion and that love for creativity is such a joy to be able to know that I can merge passions and still live my life and do something I love. So.
Yes, that's always a beautiful thing, how you can figure it and to some degree compartmentalize, but at the same time, figure out a way that they can bleed into one another.
Yes. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And your resume is impressive just on the back end. Can you? I'm on the back end's amazing, but I also know what's happening now is great. Can you talk about what you're doing right now?
Oh, well, Shamanda, let me say this. I'm excited about where I'm going, right? Okay, so being, doing what I'm doing, I'm also a mother. I'm a mother of two. I have a son who is 14 and a half. And then, say that again.
I said that age.
That age, where he's calling me mom. I'm totally ignoring him, look at it. And he's you heard me, mom. I'm no, it's mine. Okay, so it's mine, and I just really was so he's 14, and then I have a daughter who's 10 and a half, who's going to be 11 in April. And one day my daughter came to me, and she started questioning whether she was pretty enough. And she started questioning. She was like, do you think I'm slim enough? And I said, wait a minute. Hold on. Where are you getting this from? what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And it really was heart-wrenching, and I had to have that sit-down conversation with my daughter and just say, look, something is wrong, something's happening. And it was heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
But then 2 days later, I received a phone call from a friend of mine. I was, we were talking. I had just finished a women's program. It's called Reset, and I'm launching that next month. Again, it's called Resetting Your Mind, Your Money, and Your Moves.
Wow.
And yes, you're right. And really helping women to come out of their darkness and claim their lightness, right? Come out of their darkness and claim their lightness. And I was telling him how successful that program was, and he was like, yeah. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, what's going on with all this shade? What? I thought you were being happy for me. And he was like, yeah, but what about my daughter? My daughter is 13 going on 14, and she needs support. And I was like, okay, God. And I was like, I went to sleep. I could not, I was restless. And it was like, God was just saying, you got something to do. You got something to do. I woke up, and a week and a half later, I came up with a name of my program. I came up with a curriculum, and I came up with a logo.
Look, when it comes together, it comes together.
Effortlessly. Effortlessly.
Love it.
And it was targeting girls ages 10 to 14. And the name of the program is called, get this, and I'm going to do the special effect. Okay, so the hair's here, right? The hair's right here. It's called G.U.R.L.S. Girl.
One more time.
G.U.R.L.S.
Yes.
It's called, you see the shoulder? It's called G.U.R.L.S. G.U.R.L.S. Girls. Unapologetically reaching levels successfully.
That's amazing.
Thank you. And I was like, I went in the lab and I went to work. And I said that these girls have to identify with something outside of what social media, it has its positives, its pros, and it also has its cons. And I also went ahead and did some research, and and what I realized is that stats. That was another reason why I went to work, right? And having all of this confirmation, like the second leading cause of death, according to the CDC, is death by suicide between the ages of 10 and 18. And that was published 2009.
Wow.
Yes, cyberbullying is the #1 way a child is being bullied now. And it's silent. Silent. Because when you're calling to your children and you're saying, what are you doing? You're so quiet in there. Oh, I'm on my phone. Okay. But that child, little do you know, that child is either the bully or they are being bullied, and it's quiet. And then you're not paying much attention, and that child that had so much vigor, that had so much light, and you see that light now dim. And you're questioning what is going on.
Yes.
And they also said that how these girls now, because my target population is from 10 to 14, middle schoolers, where they're dealing with, they're trying to figure out, am I little girl today or big girl and big lady tomorrow, right? Going from that elementary school to middle school.
So is that the reason that you chose that particular age, is because that's just kind of when they're getting into those formative years? And
Yes. And my daughter is 10 and a half going into 11. She goes into middle school this year, fall of 2021. And I said, and also there's just so much going on developmentally, which is normal. But coupled with information that's incorrect, guess what happens? They're stirred in the wrong direction. And they're looking at these images on the internet, social media, and all these girls with the filters and everything else. And you're like, this is not real, like the lips and the small waist and the hips and the girls are looking at themselves in the mirror and they're saying, this doesn't look like me, so something must be wrong. And so this program, oh my gosh, okay, so it's going to focus on emotional health. It's going to focus on etiquette training and skincare and makeup artistry. And I would be looking at their clothing, making sure they know what the difference is as it relates to, certain outfits for specific occasions. We're going to also, I mean, when I went to work, so many people jumped on board and said, how can I be of service? How can I enlist my support? I mean, to the point where I have an OBGYN that's coming on board, and this OBGYN, she has a program called Loving Your Menses, Dr. Ibira Azuma, okay? And yes, and she has a program called Loving Your Menses. So it's going to talk about, so she's going to come in and do a 2-part series talking about your menstruation and your vagina and loving it and understanding what is going on, from a puberty perspective and not being afraid of it. Right, so I have a woman coming on. I'm gonna do the skincare, and because that was my specialty, skincare and makeup artistry. And I have a woman that joined on board. She said, "Oh my gosh, I have a natural skincare line for girls that age because their skin is sensitive, it's acne prone." She's coming on board. Then I have a gentleman. I have 2 guys who have the gaming esports company. And they're like, do you know the girls' game? I was like, no. He's like, ask your girls. I have a focus group that I did prior to sending out, advertisements and everything else. A focus group. I asked 6 of the girls, do you game? And out of the 6, 5 of them said they gamed. And so he's talking about, him and his team talk about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Yes.
Which is what you do, right?
That's what I do.
Exactly. So, and he's talking about coding and being behind the scenes and creating video games and being CEOs. And I mean, amazing. I have someone coming in saying, I'm an accountant. I would love to do a financial literacy, teaching girls how to save. I'm like, save it. She's like, starting at 10. I'm like, where would I have been? Siobhan, if I was saving at 10, okay. I would be. All right, so financial literacy. And in addition to that, I have a woman, she's called the Double Dutch Queen out of Jersey. A tournament, she's helped start Double Dutch leagues around the world. And she talks about, she's going to come in and talk about Double Dutch and single roping and how that helps with your diet and your health. And I mean, so it is going to be super amazing. And in addition to that, we're going to be connecting the girls to girls in Nigeria. Girls the same age, 10 to 14, and connecting them. Remember back in the day, pen pals?
Yes.
So we're going to be doing global citizenship. And so these girls can come back and mentor the new groups of girls, because I'm going to have up to about, 100 cohorts. I already see it, right? Because this is the first launch. Super excited. And so these girls can come back every class, every other, graduating class comes back for the class that is after them, and they mentor them. But then also they'll be learning global citizenship through the girls in Nigeria and working on a project together. And my hope is after at least maybe the 5th or 6th or maybe the 7th cohort, we can all travel to Nigeria and meet these girls.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Because everything, you just keep talking and it just keeps getting better and better. And I'm getting more and more impressed with everything that you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
What I really love though is it's just that mentality of, if you build it, they will come.
That's it.
You just created this thing and everybody is wanting to jump on board and help. And I think that's just a testament to what you're doing and how necessary it is. But also just, we live in this world where we're kind of alone a lot and maybe not as social, but everybody wants to be a part of a community and everybody wants to be doing something and helping out. And that's incredible.
Yes. Thank you.
Incredible. How are you feeling about it?
Look, I'm excited. I'm super excited. I'm in the shower. Okay, and I'm sharing a little bit. Okay, so okay. I'm in the shower, and in the shower, I do a whole lot of thinking, right? I don't know if you're one of those people, but I do a whole lot of thinking. Sometimes to the point where I'm like, "Girl, get out the shower! You're about to turn into a raisin," right?
Yeah.
But I do a lot of thinking. I'm not the singer in the shower. I'm the thinker, and sometimes I have to knock the negative thoughts out. But I think and I visualize, and I honestly I've had the vision clear as day, and I'm gonna share it with your viewers that that it gives me goosebumps just talking about it. That I can envision myself, and I have envisioning myself in like I'm in the center, and I have all these girls around me, and we're in Africa, and they're singing their tribal song. The American girls are joining in, and we're just dancing, and we're like, whatever song it is, and we're just like, and I'm just crying, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So how am I feeling? I'm feeling super excited about it. I'm super excited about, I mean, I have 15 slots and 7 of them have already been filled. The course launches February 19th and I want to keep it intimate. And I'm having an informational session happening tomorrow, Friday, at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and another one on Sunday, 1 p.m. Standard Time. And get this, I'm going to be giving away to parents and organizations and agencies who are joining in to offer, I'm giving a free class, right? So their daughters can join in. Because my whole thing is I don't want parents to say, you need to be in this class and I'm gonna pay for you to get in, and just do it. I want buy-in from the girls.
Yeah.
I want the girls to say, Mom, I want to be a part of this. And so every girl that has been in my free class, like they're bugging their mom, like, Mom, I need to be in this. I need to be in this. Because I give them a tip, just a little taste of what the class is going to be like. And I'm excited. I'm excited about where it's going to go. I'm excited. And then also I have a adopted girl as well, where for those who cannot afford to attend the course, you can adopt a girl. And as little as $20, $25, that will help a girl actually get into a program, right? So we really want to give back to those girls who cannot afford it, but they sure need it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing. So can you tell everybody where they can find you and where they can get more information on the programs as well? I know you have your information session, but
yes, NatashaParis.com.
Keeping it simple.
Keeping it simple. Natasha Paris, PARIS.com. They can go straight to my website and they can, log in. Well, not log in, you just look at events and you scroll down and it has my girls program. You can click right in there and it'll tell you when the informational session is happening. You can register. And then also and my handle, Natasha Paris, right? Is that my handle, Natasha Paris for you? Yes. Yeah. I didn't think about it. I'm like, what's my handle on Instagram?
I know.
Yes. So I'm super excited. And I know that your platform talks about, give me more about, because as you said, mental health is not something, because I'm loving this conversation, right? Mental health is not something that's normally talked about on this show, right? Mm-hmm. And so why do you feel mental health is necessary now? Because this is really mental health as it relates to, adolescent girls.
I think, I've always struggled, me and myself, we're going to put that out there, from a young child with depression, or not a young child, as a teenager, and carried into my adult life. And I've had many episodes here. And so I'm it's always been on the radar. But I think we put so much focus on the outside and making sure that works and looks good and eating healthy and, in that sense, exercise. And for whatever reason, that mental portion just goes to the wayside. And I think during this pandemic, I feel like that has been exacerbated in a lot of people.
Yes.
And that need to focus on mental health has been brought to the forefront, and everybody's like, oh, wait, hold on a minute.
Right.
There's another aspect to this that we have been completely neglecting. Yes. And so that's why I feel like it's so important. We talk a lot about self-care, but again, we never just pin down that mental health side, you know, we talk around it, but never like really get into it. And I'm just finding it to be so important. You know, and as a Black woman, as you know, we went through this past summer, like watching video after video that was just
Oh,
traumatizing.
yes, yes.
Traumatizing.
Very.
So yeah, so that's I'm like mental health is it's something we have to start talking about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it is, as you said, you know, and I commend you for sharing, right? I've been a licensed clinician for over 20 years, and, you know, I always commend my clients for being brave enough to admit when something is wrong. Because there are lots of people in this country, in this world, who walk around pretending that everything is just okay, if not great. Yeah. And like you said, it's about appearance. Like, so you look good, you're smiling, people think you're fine, and then you go home and you take your own life. Mm-hmm. And people are like, what? What happened? Right. Right? So I commend people when they admit that something is wrong, because then that's the first step to really making a difference and making a change. Yeah. You know, so mental health, yeah, absolutely is vital, you know, and it's vital for you to take time to get to know you know, take time to meditate and connect to source, yeah. You know, and that in itself is so vital, because now with COVID, it forced everyone to sit back and reflect. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, some people weren't reflecting, they were Netflixing.
I did a little bit of that too. I cannot lie.
No, and that's okay. That's okay. So then you're like, I'm not going anywhere, right? I might as well. But at the same time, you know, turn off the television. Turn off the television. Listen to, you know, meditate, fast, you know, read some books, figure out a way. Because after this is all done, we're gonna, you know, I don't think things are going to be 100% back, but I truly believe that it's going to be different. But mm-hmm. You're going to end up going back into that ripping and running, and then here you go again. Then that's cycle. Yes. So thank you for, you know, talking about the importance of mental health. And we got to do this again. Like, I mean, like, just being able to talk about what is happening and that elephant that's in the room. And if we can start with our young girls and boys. I mean, someone's already, like, I had 4 dads call, what about the boys? What about the boys?
I'll get there.
Yes, we will. But, you know, we really, you know, girls are oftentimes, I wouldn't say they're overlooked, but oftentimes everyone thinks, because girls are so cheerful and they're friends and everything else, they tend to be a bit overlooked, right? You know, a bit. And people focus on the boys, of course, right? We need to find an even playing field as it relates to that, and or service delivery. Let me say not playing field, but like even service delivery as it relates to boys and girls. But I'm excited about this program, and you know, I don't know. I'm seeing people write something. I can't see, but I can make out what it's.
People are waving and like raising their hands, like, yes, I've been there.
Yes. So yeah, so let's just keep having this conversation, and you know, and I'm super excited about where we're going and what we're doing and how we're making it. You know, my goal is to change and heal. Mm-hmm. Change and heal, you know, because if we can heal the world and be the change that we don't see, or be the change that we want to see, it takes one person. It just takes one person. That's it. So,
I'm like, that one person connects so many people, just like you're doing. Like, you have this one thing, and so many people are coming in, and it's just amazing how it starts with one, and it's just a ripple effect.
Yes. So, look, mark this day, because I'm like, Black girls rock. They're not going to have anything on girls. I mean, I'm already seeing T-shirts and, you know, because the girls graduate out of each cohort at the end of the class, so they'll have a graduation ceremony virtually, and they'll get a girls' care bag, a goodie bag, and super excited. But I can totally see a platform where we can have a large, like, you know, award ceremony and have guest speakers and musicians and all of that stuff. And
Yeah.
and then one day I'll say, Michelle Obama is.
I love it. You better dream them dreams. Speak it.
Michelle Obama is the recipient of a Girls Award. She's an awardee of the Girls Program. Well, I have to figure out a catchier name, but yes.
I like it. I like it. You're going places, Natasha. You're going places.
You know what? God is good, and I can honestly say, Shaman, it's about being a vessel, being utilized by God, and just being able to, I almost didn't get on your show today. I'm gonna be. Can I share? Can I share?
Share.
Oh my goodness! Today was a hot mess. I woke up and I couldn't open my left eye. It was like oozing, it was swollen, it was itchy, it hurt. I mean, it was so bad. And I had a meeting this morning, like I have a team of individuals that I work with, and we're all about love building. And I usually facilitate a Zoom power call, motivational call in the morning. Couldn't even do that. I had to get someone to do it for me. I mean, like, even now, it's not as bad, but it was super, like, to the point where it was like just one side of my head, headache, eyes.
Oh.
But God is good. And I just said, you know what? The enemy is busy and he's trying to stop me, and I said, hell or high water. I'm going to get big glasses and oil and figure it out.
When you're here, you looking good, you dropping some gems, and telling us about this amazing program that I'm super excited about. I feel like so many girls are going to benefit from this, and it's just, you're starting a ripple. You're starting a ripple. And it's going to be amazing. I'm speaking that for you right now.
I received that. I felt that virtually. I felt that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Any last questions before we close?
Look, everyone's telling you you're beautiful. Aww. You just have a beautiful spirit.
Aw, thank you. God is good. Thank you so much. I'm hoping, and I'm glad that your viewers are feeling that transcend, through the internet, right? Through social media. And I want to be able to be a light. And I say, I'm gonna tell people all the time, like, I say, and I tell my kids this, I said, if you think that you're just taking up space, breathing air, and not doing anything, then you really are wasting time.
Hey.
You're wasting time. Figure out what are you designed on this planet to do. And when you figure that out, sky's the limit. I mean, I'm in my early 40s, I'm making sure my brain cream, making sure everything's good, but it takes some time to figure that out. But if you're listening and you're just walking in faith and walking and saying, okay, God, okay, all right, what do you want me to do? How do I support? How do I give back? And if you are going through, can I say something to your viewers? If you are going through any level of sadness or depression or you just suffered a breakup, or financially you're going through the ruins and you're not sure when your next meal is coming from. One thing honestly that I will say, and this is through experience, is that if you can take a moment and take the focus off of you, just take the focus off of you. Just remember what God has. He said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Right? I will never leave you. And so when you can take the focus off yourself for just a moment and place that energy, and place it on someone else, it does a world of a difference for your mood. When you can see you help someone, and that in itself is a start of figuring out what should I do and how can I change and heal the world. Like I can hear the song by Michael Jackson, heal the world. I can't say make this a better place for you and for me and this entire human race.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes.
People
we gotta agree with it. I'm sitting over here like tearing up. I'm like, okay, because I felt that. Like, yes, like that's I feel like that's like my whole existence is just being second. I'm like, there's this movement called I Am Second, and I'm like, I know there's time we have to take care of. You got to take care of you. You got to take care of yourself. But there's beauty in learning to focus on and serve other people.
And what is that called? It said I am second. That is I am.
Yeah, I Am Second. It's a faith-based organization, just a service-based. Yes, Terry, we're changing the narrative. Changing the narrative.
I love that. I love that.
Yes. That's amazing. So we can go ahead and wrap it up.
Yes.
And I'm going to have you one more time, just give everybody that website.
Okay, absolutely. I'm going to say it with all my energy and all my... Somebody said to me, they said, oh, you're loud. I said, well, and unapologetically loud.
Hey. Yes.
I'm embodying one of my transgendered friends. Like, let's get it, girl. So,
I need to meet them.
Oh my goodness. Oh, being in that fashion industry, in that creative world, that good amount of my friends, right? Like my daughter's godfather. Like he's not transgendered, but he is definitely, playing on the boys' field, right? So, but my point is this: is that I'm just the energy, and I'm loving the energy. Thank you so much. So your viewers can log on. Just type in NatashaParis.com. And they can go to my site and they can register for this free informational session that's happening this coming Friday, Eastern Standard Time at 6 p.m., as well as Sunday at 1 p.m. And also, if they know a girl, whether it's a daughter, whether it's a niece, whether it's a friend with a granddaughter, invite them to take this free course, free class. It's a course, not a course, but a free class. And if for some reason they cannot afford it, we will find a way. We will find a way because people have been donating. And also, I am going to, I just thought about it. I said, oh, how could I have forgotten? I am going to, and maybe I can come back on the show, I don't know, but before the course launches on the 19th, figure it out. But I'm going to do a fundraiser. I want to just have a platform for fundraising for people to just go to my site. I'm going to do some lives. People go to my site and just donate as much as they can. To the girls program is paypal.me/girls mission, G.U.R.L.S mission. And they can just click on that and they can donate whatever amount that they feel, that their pockets can hold, right?
Yeah.
Right. And they can donate to a cause, and it's a great cause, helping girls become unapologetically themselves and loving the bodies that they're in, the spirit that they have, and the energy and life that they have and they're looking towards, right? So yes, NatashaParis.com, and my handle is Natasha Paris for you, all right, on Instagram, and they can just find me at Natasha Paris St. Amand on Instagram.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Natasha. I'm gonna go cry now.
Cry tears of joy.
This has been beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on and talking about this program.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye. Bye.